Hi. My topic is on same-sex marriage in California and in the U.S. in general. My main claim is homosexual couples should have the right to marry like everyone else has been able to since, well, ever. My main reason is there's really no reason that I've been able to see to deny them the right to marry. One, denying homosexual couples the right to marry is inherently unequal, like when Brown versus the Board of Education ruled that separate but unequal are inherently unequal for segregated schools. The same principle applies. If something is called a separate name, like civil unions versus marriage, there's really no way they're equal. Otherwise, they'd just be called the same thing. They're unequal also because civil unions are different from marriage in that you can't enter a confidential marriage. There's no long-term insurance coverage for them as opposed to regular marriage. Second reason, same-sex marriage doesn't hurt the existing institution of marriage. Like opponents of same-sex marriage have said, they're trying to protect marriage. They're trying to protect the sacred institution of marriage. Ensuring freedom of marriage doesn't devalue anyone else. If everyone was allowed to marry, existing marriages wouldn't become invalidated. There wouldn't be any, like ending slavery. It didn't devalue existing citizenships, granting African Americans the right to become a citizen. Also, women's suffrage, allowing women the right to vote, didn't mean that everyone else's votes became suddenly invalid. Ensuring equality for all doesn't mean there's less to go around. Everyone's still equal. There's no one else has to take on the burden of being a minority. And I hope you agree with me. Thank you.
Give this to you?
Yeah. Thank you. All right, Joe, you identify your proposition pretty clearly. However, it's phrased as a claim of policy, so you want to focus on the factual issues. If you want to argue that it's discriminatory, I think that would be the clearest factual claim. Or that some harm occurs to homosexual couples because they are not allowed to marry. That would be a claim of fact. There's not really a preview of what the supporting structure is going to be, but you do signpost the main points when you're presenting your argument. On those individual points, you basically provide several analogies on individual points, but I'm not sure that it's always clear why the analogies apply to the subjects that you're talking about, especially on the second point when you're comparing slavery and the right to vote to the question about what traditional marriages are. I think you need to do a little bit more analysis of what the argument is by people who are claiming that there's a threat to traditional marriage so that you can respond to it appropriately. Other than the vague reference to those examples that are historical in nature, there is no statistical information, there's no testimony. There appear to be some facts that are being asserted, but none are cited in the presentation, and I didn't hear a source citation during the presentation. You're using basic analogies to make your arguments, but the analogies need to be strengthened by the legitimacy of the application. For instance, when you talk about problems about civil unions, you may be confusing civil unions with domestic partnerships, because there are a number of states that have civil unions that in fact do have some of the things that you claim would be lacking that would be present in a marriage. And I think that you don't have any evidence on that point, so it makes your point a little bit harder to accept. I thought you did a nice job presenting to the audience. Your voice is pretty clear. You seem to be engaged in the subject, but it needs to be developed a lot more. All right, thank you.